I'd love to jump in and show the roadmap that we created to kind of guide people through this new tool. So this was a roadmap that we created as kind of an overview to the entire District Playbook. And you can actually click on any of the words on this roadmap and it'll bring you directly to the section that you're looking for. I wanted to take a minute and just point out a couple of the features here. We have a couple of really cool icons on this. One is a yellow road sign that indicates some places where we've heard that if you slow down and really take the time to make sure that this specific piece is done really, really well and really right, people see a lot of success. You'll also see a little clock face on this roadmap where you can get some helpful tips for timing based around the typical school year. And I would love to show you the first section where we can kind of point out some of these features. So the first section of the playbook talks about purpose and vision of your program. So you see the little yellow sign down at the bottom. We've really found and heard a lot from others that gathering expert resources at that very first critical stage really lines you up for success. It makes the whole process feel a little bit easier to take on. And so we've marked that with a little road sign there. At the bottom of those little red arrows that kind of show what's in the section, you'll also see a little clock face that goes along with the timing for the school year. So the idea is you'd want to complete these parts before that timing piece comes. So I'm going to just kind of click through so you can see some other parts of the roadmap. Section 2 goes into growing leadership champions, getting some buy-in, getting some funding. Then it kind of breaks off into two sections depending on the tutoring approach that you want to take. And we're going to talk a little more about how you decide that and what resources we have. But it breaks off into two sections. One is for building your own tutoring program, and the other is for partnering with a provider. And then at this point, once you've kind of planned out your program design, we did want to just mention that we have a service at the National Student Support Accelerator where you can actually submit your documents to us and find out if your program design is aligned to the research. You get connected with technical assistance providers who will give some recommendations and give some feedback on what you have planned. And you can also get recognition from your local education agencies by taking the self-assessment and then jumping into perhaps applying for the badge. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later and give you some more details there. The very last section of the playbook talks about implementation. This is the real nitty-gritty, like everything's getting into action. You're starting to set up your schedules, pick out your schools and your students, working on attendance and that continuous improvement piece. And then that last part of the roadmap, those little arrows show you all the benefits that can come from implementing your high-impact tutoring program. So lots of great, exciting things in this roadmap. And this is a great entry point into the District Playbook.